joined today by Henk Ludik, Executive Chairman at Suvo Strategic Metals. Henk, thanks for your time.
David, thank you for having me.
When the company listed, it listed with a portfolio of kaolin and silica sand assets in Western Australia, but you quickly transitioned into a producer through the acquisition of an asset in Victoria. Can you talk about that asset and why is it so strategically important?
Yeah, it's a great starting point. So the Pittong operations in Ballarat was probably one of the best acquisitions in this space over recent years. It's been in operation for about 50 years, but the benefit of buying that, and we paid about $2 million for that at the beginning of 2021, was that we picked up an asset which is fully permitted. It's been in operation for 50 years, so we understand how to run the mining and the infrastructure. It's fully de-risked from a funding perspective, it's fully de-risked from a product perspective, and it's fully de-risked from an offtake perspective. So we have a niche set of products which is already accepted by market and by well-established customers who understands the product offering.
And now you've got in there, you're increasing production capacity and enhancing that asset?
Absolutely. So earlier this year we raised $7.5 million to upgrade the asset. A 50-year-old asset comes with its little quirks. Obviously you have to ensure that the appropriate maintenance is done. So we spend a bit of time with engineers on site. We are now in a position where we've started deploying capital. We have started the upgrades and we have actually upgraded the wet part of our processing plant. That section's complete. So we're on track to complete the dry part of our processing plant in Q1 2023. This upgrade will see us take the operational capacity or nameplate capacity back to 60,000 tonnes per annum. So we expect at an 83% utilisation rate to be producing about 50,000 tonnes of kaolin product per annum.
Your Victorian asset is clearly gaining market attention, but your development assets should be watched closely as well. How are they developing and what should investors know about them?
So let's just understand the portfolio as a whole. The Pittong operations provides a firm base which will be earnings generating come FY 2024, post upgrade and post filling up the offtake book. So that will effectively enable us to generate enough earnings to deploy capital from our own earnings base into these other projects. The Nova project or Eneabba Silica Sand project based in WA, it's a world-class asset comparable to Cape Flattery in Northern Queensland from a scale and quality perspective. And we recently gained access to privately owned cleared farmland. Now that puts us ahead of the pack because obviously we don't have to go through acquiring permits or any native clearing permits for that process. So we certainly are at the head of the pack in developing that, and I'm pleased to confirm that we've rolled out some drilling rigs to that. It's an absolutely stunning project in terms of its proximity to infrastructure, the quality of the resource, and the fact that it's close to a port as well. Then in addition to that, we have the MetalKalin project. Once again, it sits on cleared farmland. It's close to infrastructure. We've got access to a rail spur and a railway line, which effectively provides us with a logistic solution for larger volumes. Hence, the scoping study was done at a number of 200,000 tonnes per annum. We've seen that the resource is absolutely world-class, and we're quite excited to develop that as well. The benefit of having the Pittong operation is we understand how to mine these types of assets, we understand how to build the infrastructure to support the assets, and obviously we understand the market and the product set. So the only last element of the puzzle that we are solving is where do we sell the offtake from this world-class asset into. And then a couple of weeks ago, we finally vended in the Miche high-purity silica sand assets, 50 kilometres north of Perth. This is probably one of the highest purity silica sand assets in the world. Obviously, that's a bit of a longer-term project for us, but it certainly is a world-class resource, and it could be a game-changer for the region in terms of our capability to produce more value-accretive products right on the Perth doorstep.
You also announced the move into MetalKalin. What is it and why is that so important?
So MetalKalin is a cement additive, an SCM or pozzolanic as it's called in the industry. MetalKalin is used to replace clinker. So clinker is one of the biggest contributors to annual CO2 emissions from a global perspective. The cement sector contributes to about 8% of annual global emissions. So if you can replace the clinker with less emission-intensive products, you create a solution for the cement sector to decarbonise. MetalKalin's been around since the 1960s. It certainly is not a novel product. It's been used in large infrastructure projects since the early 60s, as I've said. And it certainly hasn't found its footing in Australia just yet, but therein lies the opportunity for us. So we've partnered with the likes of Calix Curtin University and others to develop this product set from our resource. And we're very excited to be working with industry partners to also start working on the deployment and refinement of that offering.
Strong portfolio of assets, a quality team. Where to from here? What's the work program that should be exciting investors over the next 6 to 12 months?
So the focus will be on Pittong, delivering the upgrade on time and hopefully below budget. It certainly is to fill that offtake book, because that's obviously something that the market is looking closely at. And I'm very happy to see that our peers are also successful in their offtake discussions, which confirms our thesis that the market is there and it's ripe for the picking for Australian producers. Then we certainly will be developing the silica sand assets as well. They are world class. They are in a jurisdiction that's safe and friendly, and we have a multi-decade resource which will enable us to lock up long-term contracts. In addition to that, the green cement thematic is one that our investors, shareholders and your viewers should continue following, especially given the rigorous requirements by governments and the roadmaps published by cement companies to decarbonise their sector. So it certainly has become a bit of a push effort to decarbonise the sector as opposed to a willing participant sector. And then obviously we are vending into the HPA technology, which is very exciting for us. That is creating high purity alumina for use in lithium-ion batteries, high-end electronics, and we will be producing that from recycled alumina. That project is underway. We are vending into the Dingo HPA structure, and I'm very excited about the prospects of delivering positive news from that as well.
World-class projects, tier 1 jurisdiction, a quality team and a strong shareholder base. Henk, exciting times ahead for Suvo and its shareholders. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, David. I look forward to speaking again soon.